load into champion select right here, OMG are going to be scratching their heads a little bit because they gave it their best shot that game and it didn't work.
It didn't, and they've decided that it was Pokemon's gigantic performance on that Maokai. They're going to ban that one away, actually. And OMG, so much respect for the IG top laner that honestly copped a bit of flack in the earlier few losses that they received.
And look, when he's behind, and which is what EDG systematically dismantled that tree, all the champions that Pokemon brought out, his Rumble was operating on 4,000 gold less than his opponent. Pokemon did struggle. And maybe he is a confidence player, maybe he's purely only a tank player, but if he's allowed to go even or ahead in lane, his team fighting is excellent. So I need to see OMG play around that, play very smartly and decisively against Pokemon, force him onto a champion he might not be confident on, and then just repeatedly gank him. Because if Pokemon's left unchecked, the rest of IG are doing their roles and Pokemon's playing his to a T.
Yeah, OMG actually waiting until the very last second to choose their final ban. It is going to be Thresh taken off the board. Kitty's not going to have that one. Janna is still available. OMG can lock that one away for low again if they want to, but didn't work out so well in the last game.
And that last pick Vayne came back to haunt them. We never saw the split push Vayne come out that has been so strong from Uzi in their previous times that we've seen him there. The Sivir pick would have really completed their comp, so to see him go for the hyper carry and be punished, you have to think that he won't be allowed to go for kind of the optimistic pick in terms of the hyper carry, the selfish pick there, looking for all the kind of credit for himself. They paid for it team comp wise there.
Yep, and Gnar is actually going to be the final ban, which leaves Kassadin open. Going to lock that one away immediately. Pokemon instantly responds with that Aurelia being taken away from Going, and Kakao going to lock away that Janna as well. So I like the pickups here, of course, very contested picks, but the Kassadin going into the hands of Cool, most likely here, is very scary for Invictus Gaming.
Yeah, one of the good things you can say from Invictus Gaming, and good things about leaving Kassadin open, of course, we've seen so much decisive Kassadin play in the LPL here, but they are able to pick up the answering Aurelia and kind of force Kassadin into the mid lane. So it does make that flex pick a bit more predictable. You can try for the 1v1 against Aurelia, but with all her mobility, with that Q gap closer, it's such a hard lane. It's basically forcing the Kassadin onto Cool.
Yeah, and again, looking to respond to this Janna pickup by grabbing that Morgana away. Of course, earlier on today we saw that Morgana in the top lane, so may not necessarily be going into support, but it is highly likely that that's where it's going to be. And Kitties was fantastic on that champion just recently. IG now with their next couple of picks, and this is really going to start rounding out their team comp, and we'll see where they're going to aim. Kid had a brilliant game on Corki, so I wouldn't be surprised to see that one locked in just here.
The Lee Sin is still available right here. Of course, IG first picked that champion the first time it was available in the first game and really took advantage of it here. So not surprising to see it picked up once again here for Kakao.
Yeah, and Rookie looking at a few assassin options here for the mid lane. We'll see what he decides to go with as Kakao very certain of that Lee Sin, and it is going to be Ahri, of course. 4.21 is the patch. Ahri not at her super fun stage where she gets all that movement speed from the Q, incredibly difficult to deal with, but that is going to be the answer of Rookie to a possible cool Kassadin.
And Ahri versus Kassadin, let's assume that's the mid lane matchup here.
Skill matchup.
It is a skill matchup. It's a very punishing matchup for Kassadin. In old days, back when Kassadin had the silence, he could get on top of that Ahri, especially if he got a bit of early game snowball. It's much more of a skill matchup right now, but it's still a ranged versus melee matchup. So in the early levels, Kassadin's going to get harassed out a lot. He's going to struggle a little bit there. But if he can get to the late game, it's not the most painful. It's not the Cassiopeia that we've seen picked up a few times against that
Oh
Kassadin.
My goodness. Okay, Invictus Gaming with a bit of style here, instantly locking in the last pick Vayne for themselves. Kid, he wants to take it to Uzi.
So Uzi was forced onto that rotational Sivir right here, and now it's Kid answering back and saying, all right, I saw what you did with the Vayne. I wasn't that impressed with that first game. He's locking it in right here. Vayne versus Sivir after laning phase. Once that Blade the Ruin King comes out, if we see the successful lane swap coming out from Vayne, Vayne can track down that Sivir and kill Sivir quite happily in a 1v1. So OMG this time is going to have to be on the front foot. They're going to have to be really proactive and ensuring they do not get lane swapped on, and then they never end up in a situation where they can't deal with a split pushing Vayne. I love IG throwing the gambit right here. That little bit of extra flavor. It's not BM, it's just a bit of flair and saying, look, I play Vayne too. I know you're pretty good at it, but it suits the comp. And I think it might be the answer to the OMG comp they've picked here.
Yeah, and the last pick, Vayne, isn't into that sort of Yasuo-Lee Sin combination that just has so much lockdown potential. Not quite as much of that, but they do have to deal with the going Kassadin, of course. This time it's going to be Kassadin in the top side of the map, and Cool going to lock away that LeBlanc as well. So wanting a little bit more assassination potential here against this Ahri. And almost every matchup that you talk about with Ahri, the reason I had a little bit of a giggle about the skill matchup story is the fact that almost every Ahri matchup in the history of matchups is going to be a skill matchup. And let's see how it unfolds as we get onto the Rift. And we're onto the Rift, ladies and gentlemen, but it is going to be straight into a pause, so we'll just come back and have another conversation here. Has happened a little bit, of course, these players just wanting to make sure everything's just right as they're getting onto this one, but we can continue talking about this because now Pokemon on this Aurelia going to be going up against the Kassadin, and you have to think that this OMG lineup wants to lane swap because I don't think that Going is going to be able to handle that 1v1.
But there's a really interesting flavor of this laning phase. So we said that at the start. When this draft started, we said, all right, it's going to have to be the Kassadin mid because Aurelia versus Kassadin, not a good matchup for Going right there. But then we just finished our thought and said, all right, with that last pick Vayne, you're not really going to want to look into a 2v2 lane with Vayne Janna against that Sivir Morgana. It's not the best lane matchup for Vayne either. So now both teams are kind of priced into a lane swap. Who gains the most here? Is it Vayne getting to that Blade of the Ruined King power spike fastest? Or is it Kassadin getting away from a terrible 1v1 matchup and starting that snowball towards the Rod of Ages and potentially the Tia into that late game menace he can be? It almost feels like both teams have something they want to protect, something they want to work on. And whichever one comes up, trumps in the early game, might really be the important factor as we move towards the later stages of this game.
Yeah, so it's going to be the question of do they want an extra strong Vayne or do they want an extra strong Kassadin here, which is going to be very, very troublesome as this game progresses. And Kassadin able to do a lot of work, but I mean, they do have the likes of Cacao on this Lee Sin, of course, looking very comfortable, very maneuverable as well, as is Ahri. A lot of sort of speed and gap close coming from almost every member of Invictus Gaming, even Janna with her movement speed being just generally higher than everyone else, as that Tailwind doing a lot of work. So it's going to be a highly maneuverable Invictus Gaming, and they might just look to out-rotate and out-maneuver OMG around this map.
It's very hard to out-rotate, especially if your bot lane is consistently pushed in. And if we're going to see, if we're going to see Sivir against Vayne, it's going to be inevitably going to be Vayne under a tower. It's going to open up a lot of space for Jarvan and Loveling to go and invade the enemy jungle because predictably that wave is going to be consistently shoved under Vayne's turret right there. So there's a lot of interesting strategy going on right here. If you ask me for complete thought on who would want, whether it's going to be the big early power spike for Vayne or whether allowing Kassadin to get to mid game is more important, I'd probably say Vayne just because that strategic split pushing might be slightly more important to them in terms of their mid game transition, but it's a bit of a wash.
Yeah, it is. But we are going to go to a quick break. The game has had a little bit of trouble, but we'll be back very soon once it's underway. And we are on to the Rift, ladies and gentlemen, with OMG taking on IG for the second matchup here. And Invictus Gaming coming out with a beautiful win first up. Now going to be on the red side as OMG move out of their blue side base. And they look to be grouping up here. There might be some early game action this time.
Yeah, so we see the fan out coming here. We did not see the trademark OMG early invade for Vision last game, and they did lose that game right there. So much more defensive fanning coming right now.
Yeah, OMG actually looking to find Rookie here. The standard goes into the brush. They know that he's going to be alone. Pikau waiting on the top side as well. They're going to know exactly what's going on here as the invade comes in from Invictus Gaming towards the bottom side of the map. They're going to get some deep vision of their own, and OMG really want to find out where these lanes are going to end up as Pikau takes a few auto attacks from Uzi.
Yeah, the first game, they did not go for this aggressive rotation, and you must say it might have cost them. We were surprised to get the starting lane matchups that we got in the first game. So this time, OMG, they have that insurance of having the very aggressive lane wards right here. They will try and get that lane matchup they're looking for.
You can see they've actually spotted our Kitties here as well as he's heading up the mid lane. Uzi's going to be backing here as they did see him in that ward. And it looks like OMG aggressively wanting to find the lane swap situation that they want.
I mean, both teams, as we explained in the pregame, just before we cut to that break, are kind of priced into a lane swap here, of course. Kassadin definitely wants to avoid the Aurelia matchup, and Vayne wants to at least avoid the very painful early levels against Siva right here. So lane swap's not the best, not the worst result for either team, but it's so interesting to see two teams with the same goal still fighting at level 1.
Yeah, and cool. Already distorting on top of Rookie here, wanting to make his presence known. Orb of Deception only going to hit once here. As Cool has some smooth footwork to get out of the way. That one, Pokemon going to be heading back to base. He wants to be able to match this split push. I mean, this lane swap on the bottom side. As Uzi just happily freezing out this wave.
Very similar flavor to the first game right here. Uzi has been lane swapping in these Siva lanes quite significantly. Even in lane matchups, we'd expect him to win, just because it does allow him access to level 6 much earlier. Having access to that ultimate and that team-wide utility, although he won't scale as fast into the late game, accelerating the mid-game push coming out of Siva can actually be a very smart strategic move, as we see Gogoin doing his best to help with this jungle follow. Yeah,
and Kitty's just being a nuisance in here, throwing a Howling Gale over the top, allowing those puppies to fight back just a little bit. As Low continuing to do the same on the other side. Pokemon's around here, though. They're going to be able to take this red buff. Oh, actually, it's a blue buff. And Low manages to get a Dark Binding down as Pokemon went a little bit aggressive.
There's still a lot of poking around. No big advantages in this early game right here. We still haven't seen the top laners enter lane, so predictably, very low CS values across both Kassadin and Aurelia.
Yeah, not going to have too much. We'll see how it shapes up as we move into this game. Of course, we were talking about the fact that Gogoing did not want that 1v1, but there's also the fact that Uzi probably wanted to get that 2v2 and really utilize the early pressure available to Siva. But we'll see how it works out.
It has been really interesting to see teams opt out of that 2v2. As I explained before, it does let you hit level 6 earlier, but it removes a potentially very punishing laning phase. And OMG, they're not happy with just pushing in this wave. They sent 4 members here. They want to stop Aurelia getting any farm. And finally, we see Pokemon getting significantly targeted out by OMG.
Yeah, really beautiful warding, though. They're not going to get caught underneath that tower at level 1. And the hard push going to come through from OMG as the freeze continues in the top side. Kid just happily sitting there on his own. Doesn't have a CS advantage here, of course. Uzi able to push out those waves very effectively. Being funneled all of that farm, and look at all these creeps dying to this turret as no experience is going to come in for either of these members of Invictus Gaming. Still stuck at level 1.
And this tactical rotation is actually going to start to snowball into a significant problem for Pokemon here, just because Aurelia does have quite a high gold floor in terms of needing to get items to be relevant in a team fight. Trinity Force is the second most expensive item in the game, and that is the cornerstone of any Aurelia build. So Kassadin being behind, okay, it will delay his Rod of Ages a little bit, but if Aurelia never realistically gets into a point where she has Trinity Force and can transition into some tank items, it's going to be a significant problem for IG.
Yeah, and OMG going for a very early dragon here as well. 5 minutes on the dot. They're going to pick that one up with 3 members as Pokemon now trying to get some farm here. Gogoing does have 3 CS, but that came out of the jungle. most likely, as he was treading around there. Rookie struggling a little bit in this lane. Cool with a lot of pressure. 7 CS is the advantage, but this wave's pushing in, and you have to think that Rookie's going to be able to pick up a few of these.
And the word we said for OMG to honor this game was to be proactive. We expected them to not play the reactive vision and neutral control game that they did in the first game, and they've really stepped out and done a very fast start right here. Already an outer turret and that second objective and picking up the dragon right here. So significantly faster early game play from OMG, and with this important pick coming, they do have the Jarvan LeBlanc and the Sivir rotational strength right here. I expect OMG to keep their foot on the accelerator and try and take this game early, or at least get a lead so significant in dragons that IG will have to make a large outplay to be able to get back in the game.
Oh, yeah. But you do see the Vayne still with that freeze on the top side, able to just sit back and farm very happily. Only has about a 6 CS advantage, but more than happy just to hang out up here. That being said, Uzi already has that BF sword under his belt, that extra gold and income coming through from that tower going down as Gogoing's going to poke his head out here. And Invictus Gaming, they are prepared for a lot of members to come through. 4 men strong here on the top side, and they're just rotating around, taking this whole outer rung, and there is just no laning phase this game.
Yeah, there's prioritizing the outer turrets, which is the cornerstone of a normal OMG game, and literally rotating 4 members of your team to try and achieve this right there. So much is their advantage in wave pushing that they should be able to get quite a lot of turret damage in here.
Yeah, and with Kid on this Vayne, doesn't have a lot of wave clear. He's going actually going to tank up a turret shot here as well. Kid is trying to do some work, shielding up this turret over and over again. Only taking about a third of its health. But Invictus Gaming getting zoned away at this stage, and Cacao, he's going to have to go back.
And that was the reason that we said that we didn't want to see Vayne in a solo lane against Sivir or 2v2 lane against Sivir, was the wave pushing, and Kid might be in trouble.
Yeah, the teleport's actually been popped. Final hours there as well, but Kid's taking a lot of damage, forced to use that heal. The Equilibrium Strike to come down into Loveling, but didn't have the tower damage. Uzi, he's coming back around. Darkbind going to be flashed into by Kiddies. The Boomerang picks up the kill at perfect position. And Uzi, he wants more. The Ricochet to come through at the same time. That was, in fact, first blood as the Ricochet comes down again. But Pokemon, he makes it out alive. The flash to the Boomerang, and he picks up the kill. Beautiful play from Uzi.
Such aggressive play from Uzi, but he does snipe Pokemon with that with the Q right there. They're going to take this second outer turret, and IG are being completely reactive to OMG's play right there. We saw the teleport coming in for Pokemon just to stop a turret dive. He didn't manage to stop that dive. 2 kills picked up for OMG, 2 kills picked up for Uzi, and now 2 massive structures down as well. So across the map, major wins for OMG.
Yeah, and Cool is winning in this mid lane as well. Has a decent CS advantage. And just in general, Invictus Gaming looking like they're floundering just a little bit this time around.
And this is kind of reminiscent of OMG's series against Snake, which they split 1-1. In that series, Snake just surprised them with early rotations in Game 1, and OMG played reactive. We saw it with the endgame stats, with the Lissandra 062 was going right there. And they have struggled with this new lineup when they're forced to play reactive. But when they have a cohesive game plan and play proactively, as we see 4 members being sent to the mid lane right here, OMGs do look wonderful.
They certainly do. The standard to come through here. Cacao takes so much damage, eliminated instantly with the burst of Cool. And you cannot follow those Sonic waves.
And there's just no AoE wave clear barring Rookie's Q to stop them right here. Rookie's going in aggressively, but realistically he's just trying to buy pressure right here because the push is still on.
Yeah, the Boomerang to come through here as well. Breaks through that shield completely. Nice Howling Gale to come over a couple of members, but the damage has been done. Kid comes around, puts down a ward just so that he's not spotted out here. He's going to hide underneath this turret. This blue buff, it belongs to OMG.
Yeah, and most of the map, you have to say, is an OMG's advantage right here. The Darkbind does hit on Kid, but he's level 7. He has significant base stat advantages right here. And look, Pokemon has a massive CS advantage over Gogoing, but that's a completely irrelevant statistic right here. In the previous game, it was actually Gogoing that had the 30 to 40 CS advantage over Pokemon, and that proved nil in the late game right here. So although Aurelia's starting to walk towards her Trinity Force, by the time she hits that 3,500 gold power spike, this game might be over. The second dragon spawns in just over a minute.
Yeah, exactly right. And when a dragon goes down at 5 minutes, I mean, we might yet see, you know, those 12-minute dragons, but that'll be the second instead of the first, as we're used to saying, is Kitty's only level 4 being forced to rotate around and try and get his shields on these turrets that have all gone down so far. The OMG special being employed, and they're going back to their comfort zone, going back to their roots are OMG. And Uzi more than happy to play aggressively here against Kid. The boomerang to come through, and he's got a pickaxe. That is so much extra damage, and here's Cool. Kid is going to be in a lot of trouble. Lands the chains after flashing over that one, and it's all too easy here for OMG.
Yeah, excellent rotation from OMG, but you saw Uzi going aggressive there. We talked about how Sivir might struggle in this lane matchup, but we were talking about when Blade the Ruin King was completed. With so much flat AD, Sivir still has a massive advantage over Aurelia at this stage, and no more so can you see the global gold advantage that OMG has, the 4,000 gold advantage right here, than on the supports. You look at Lua on the Morgana right here. The boots of mobility, this sidestone, both completed right here. So much gold over his compatriot Kitties.
Oh, most definitely. The chain's going to land here onto Rookie. Cool, able to get off his combo if he wants to. Doesn't quite have that Mimic available. Distortion doesn't land either, as he's just going to get a Q to the face. And Rookie still handling himself in this lane. Hasn't got an opportunity here. The kick onto low, but he gets black shielded. That was beautiful. Rookie comes in, manages to get that one, flashes out of the way of that Cataclysm and kick. Loveling going to fall down as well. Cool in a bit of trouble. IG answer back.
Two answering kills right here, but Cool still going.
Oh my goodness, Cacao just gets destroyed. The charm lands as well, though. It's the Rookie show to come in.
Importantly, though, 3-for-1 trade right there, and the key member, of course, Kid was grouped with his team. Uzi had just freshly shopped, already in Infinity Edge at about 11 minutes into the game, but that huge item spike means nothing when OMG are fighting so aggressive in the enemy jungle.
Yeah, Transcendent Blades actually to come down onto Going here on the top side as well. As Pokemon easily getting the better half of that trade. And let's have a look at this fight again.
So we'll go into the replay right here. Rookie goes very deep to get the damage on Morgana, but is able to get away. And of course, Loveling dies because he goes in aggressively thinking he can get the trade kill, not expecting Kid to be there. Cool. He could choose to back away right here, but he just trusts his burst, gets the answering kill. But the second charm is his death sentence right there. And 3-for-1. Important kills for IG, but no objective to pick up. And OMG still in the driver's seat for this second dragon.
Oh my goodness. And this game, we may see the final competitive game to have a DFG in it. One of the final ones, definitely, anyway. Of course, 4.21 is the patch, and Rookie looks to be doing it.
The DFG dream is real here, Atlas. Will it be enough for IG to get back in the game? You'd have to say no, but starting to get the picks in the mid-game, maybe that's the small window into answering some of these objectives, but OMG are backing away here.
Yeah, they were looking for Kid here around the side. They didn't find him. Dragon has reset a little bit as Loveling starts it back up yet again, but IG, they're wanting to go for this. Oh, Loveling actually going in aggressively, but he's very low on health. Rookie, Pokemon actually gets caught there immediately as the Monsoon comes in. They've traded 1-for-1 though. Cacao just gets eliminated, and Uzi, he's going to fall as Kid comes in with all the damage. 3-for-2 so far, and IG looking great.
The flank team fighting from IG was wonderful in that fight. Loveling was doing his best to buy time for going to get a really big teleport into the backlines right there, but he died instantly, and then all the threats on IG split up, so there was no massive force pulse across the members. You see Cool, he's poking his head in here, he wants to steal away the dragon. Will he be able to do it?
No, he won't be able to, of course. That's the distortion down, and Cool just wanting to make it a little bit more difficult, but let's check out this fight again.
So we see the replay. Loveling goes in very aggressively here, trying to buy time for Going to get in the backline, but it's a huge mini stun actually from that Kitty's ultimate, pushing Going against the wall, and then Kid gets the flank onto Uzi, blows him up instantly against the structure right there. Very nice play from Kitty to get the mini stun, hitting the Cassian against the wall, but Loveling just going a little bit too early, trying to buy time for Going in the backline.
Yeah, Dark Binding not going to quite find Cacao as Blade of the Ruin King and DFG have been finished by each member of Invictus Gaming. So Rookie now has that beautiful item that we're not going to see again. And the Blade of the Ruin King completed here from Kid as well. So he's hit his spike that he's looking for. 3 kills in answer to the 3 of Uzi now as well. Just missing out on those assists a little bit. Going does have his Rod of Ages available. As Pokemon forced to use that flash immediately. Transcendent Blade's going to be used. He wants to get some health back here. Does have a decent amount of movement speed. Look at the distortion damage coming from Cool as well now that that has been maxed out.
OMG, though, are pushing very aggressively onto this inner turret right here. You see Vayne is split pushing down the bottom lane, but Sivir, the Uzi, is very smart to opt out of this lane. He wants to group. He wants to get pushing because he knows he can no longer take Kid in a 1v1.
Oh, most definitely not. The split push is on now for Kid, but this inner turret is under fire. The minions streaming in continuously, and that is going to be the inner turret in the top lane, taken down 4 turrets now to 0 in favor of OMG. And Kid, he might be able to answer this with a tower on the bottom side, but they're going to lose a red buff as well. That goes over to Uzi. The red's available here for OMG, but IG, they can't push out because they have no map control. And
the issue with this split push from Vayne, although nobody can go down this bottom lane and 1v1 the Vayne, Vayne has no AoE wave.
Oh, the DFG, Luo's dead! And Rookie through the exhaust, able to blow him up. The distortion used from Cool. The scrying orbs here. Loveling looking for this one. Kiddies, he gets caught out. That beautiful charm coming in on top of Loveling, and Cool unable to follow the target as well. Kid, he has to be very careful. Final hour flash and heal are available. Pops the ultimate, and that is the lesser of the cooldowns in order to be popped here. And the tower went down. Kid going to be happy with that one, but man, Rookie looking fantastic on this Ahri in the mid game.
But they do get the minimum from that pick there, though, Atlas. I was talking about the lack of AoE wave pushing on Kid right here. Although no one can 1v1 him, it took so long for him to push the turret in right here that they do not get any significant objectives out of that split push right there. He gets the turret he was angling towards, but they get a pick and they get the absolute minimum from it. So they really need the side waves pushing right here, They need to pay very close attention to ensure that they relieve some pressure, they get some wards in so that Vayne can actually have that split pushing pressure. Because if she's just pushing in slowly and then Uzi groups and they take significant objectives on the other side of the map, it's negating the power of this Vayne pick.
But you have to think that if Invictus Gaming, they group together, they start taking some of these structures, the gold is very similar. Only about 1,000 in it at 17 minutes into this game. And once all of that global gold starts to get snapped up, that standing gold available here for Invictus Gaming, the game could turn around and look very different once this next outer rung of towers goes down on their side.
Absolutely. When the global gold is equaled, it will be IG in a significant advantage.
Cool gets caught by the charm. Rookies. Ahri is ridiculous.
It feels like an ode to DFG like you've built up here, Atlas.
Oh, yeah.
We're not going to see it much more often, but Rookie's getting maximum value out of it this game.
I'm just so happy to see it back. The last hurrah of the DFG, and Rookie is definitely doing it proud so far this game.
I guess the issue I'll bring up is that it's going to be very difficult to take these 4 turrets because the turret siege from IG is quite poor. Even though they have 3 ranged auto attackers here, they don't have a lot of AoE wave here. They're going to be slow getting the minions to the wave, and then there's a lot of potential engage and harass coming out of LeBlanc, the ultimate coming out of Uzi, the dark bindings to dodge from Luo here. So it's going to be difficult for them to get that global gold back, but they've pretty much evened up the game, even 3 turrets in the hole.
Yeah, exactly. And everything is completely square at this stage after that kill went down. And look at this top lane as well. Pokemon stretching this lead against GoGo. And we were talking about this not being a great matchup for Cassidy. 30 CS now in the lead for this Aurelia, and Pokemon still looking okay after having a very disappointing start to this match.
Yeah, we cast our eyes to start this game. Remember how many resources, 4 members in fact, OMG put in to denying Pokemon off the creep wave, to ensuring he was behind. He was so low in CS that we thought, all right, it's going to be like a 25-minute Trinity Force. He'll never get tanky. He'll be completely irrelevant this game. But this early Trinity Force has actually come out for Pokemon. He's looking very strong.
Yeah, Equilibrium Strike here has been popped, as well as Kid's ultimate as well. Cool's come in. He gets... oh, the Monsoon, beautifully done. Pokemon does go down because he walks out of it a little bit too quickly. Kid trying to get some tumble damage down, but the chase potential of going is fantastic. He tries to get out of it, flashes over the top, the exhaust down, picks up a 1-for-1 kill, dodges out of the way as well, almost manages to pick that one up, and even though there's 4 members, still managing to pick up a kill.
The Vayne mechanics, not from Uzi, despite it being in a game he's in right here. His wonderful Vayne mechanics get the 1-for-1 for Kid. It was going to be more if potentially Janna was going to be locked down right there, but they'll take the even trade because they've pushed the minion wave aggressively into the bottom lane right here, and Rookie is walking through an unwatered jungle with that DFG.
Yeah, and he's looking for the picks. Loveling, he's built tanky here, but he has no magic resist, and if he goes anywhere near Rookie, he is dead. As is Low, who's moving around here. Rookie looking for the range, actually popping that Foxfire immediately onto Low. There's a last hit DFG, manages to pick up the kill, but he might be in a bit of trouble as he gets knocked up. Cool gets the kill. Cataclysm on the other side. Cacao gets caught by that one. Kitty's in trouble now as well, and he's going to fall down. A little bit of a misplay maybe from Rookie.
Over-aggressive for the pick there was Rookie right there. 2-for-1 trade, not in the favor, but the trades keep coming across the map. Part of the time they're in OMG's favor, part of the time they're in IG's favor, but 2,000 gold right now is the lead for OMG.
But as it all washes off here, Cool now 8-2-1 on this LeBlanc. This guy, we were talking about his KDA, how it's gigantic and continuing to progress in this game.
And you'd have to say, though, that the 5-1-4 Ahri is quite comparable in terms of assassination pressure right here. So it's all going to be on which team can get up that pink ward line, that can get up that exclusive vision, because it was Invictus Gaming last game, and it's what kept them in the game when they were behind in the mid game right here. Right now, we look on the minimap, very few pink wards out on the map. The first team to get a really big stranglehold on that vision will probably be able to trade off their massive Fed assassins.
Yeah, Uzi trying to get some damage down onto this inner turret here on the bottom side. There's the Orb of Deception to come through, gets a lot of damage down, clears out those minions, but Rookie takes so much damage from Uzi. He has to watch out as the 2 items of power have come through for this AD carry, and Uzi has smelt blood. He is so angry this game.
Another structure's going to come down here for OMG. 5-2 is a structure score right here. Whenever we see Vayne on the other side of the map from her team is suffering because of the lack of wave clear among the other members right here. They need to engage fights. They need to get up, start getting these objectives because the rotations from OMG are so much more substantial than in the previous game.
Yeah, Kakao trying to be everywhere at once here as well, and it looks like it's going to be on Rookie in order to clear out these waves. All the Transcendent Blades from Pokemon coming through with that ultimate. And that is very dangerous. Talk here is cool. He's going to be able to clear out this wave as well using that distortion. He wants to clear out this last minion as well, and he will do. Dragon not available for the next few minutes. Baron's up, but probably not going to be a thing that they're going to contest for the next few minutes.
A lot of red wards down on the map here. So many defensive wards respecting the power of LeBlanc right here. You compare LeBlanc and Ahri, while they'll both burst down an enemy, it's going to be an instant deletion coming out from Cool, whereas it's going to need a few spell rotations coming out from Ahri. So you need to be overwarded relatively because the pressure from this LeBlanc right now is crazy.
Yeah, Rookie might be in a little bit of trouble. Has been spotted out by the other members of OMG as they've walked through here. Loveling going to clear out this ward, and more blue vision going to be inserted into the jungle of Invictus Gaming. Kid looking for going, but that Rift Walk, very handy for getting out of anything.
Especially with the CDR boots pick up here. A lot of cooldown reduction.
Oh, actually Cool getting kicked out here as Kakao. He's in so much trouble. Kid gets knocked up here as well. Manages to dodge out of the way, but he doesn't have that flash available just yet. It's a beautiful Monsoon, but Kid is dead. That is a lot of the damage down. Rookie now trying to come in, but going is going to be able to finish that kill off. Pokemon able to flash over the wall, and no follow-up available just yet, but it is going to be a 3-for-3 trade. That being said, Uzi's still alive, as is going. The carry's still up for OMG.
It looked like it was going to be an instant team fight win for OMG when Cool got into the backline, did so much damage with the Mimic Distortion right there onto Kid and Rookie, but Pokemon is still very, very strong this game. 7 kills now on Rookie, so the assassins on both sides are fed out of their minds, and this game is close.
This game is most definitely close, and we'll see who can make the best strategical play based on their team comp as we see the replay coming through.
So we see the repeat here. Kakao dies very early, and the moment that LeBlanc goes in, I thought this was going to be a clear win for OMG, but actually Rookie is doing so much damage as well in the backline, and Pokemon and Rookie, when they're diving in, are very comparable in terms of frontline damage threats right there. So it becomes completely even 3-for-3 as both AD carries were assassinated early.
Oh yeah, the Phantom Dancer now finished from Kid. He's really starting to get into this game, not going for that static shiv that Uzi was looking for in his last match, wanting to have a few more of those raw stats, that 1v1 potential here on this Vayne, making sure that he has all of that in his arsenal.
But it basically commits them completely to team fighting right here, because although he does have the selfish single target damage, there's no more wave clear. There's not even a static shift to at least help them with the wave clear. They're doubling in on team fight damage, but that's all they have here, IG.
Yeah, Rookie actually getting caught by the chains. They're forced to use that ultimate. Dark Binding's going to land on a Pokemon. He's not going to be too worried, but the Boomerang to come through here as well as Loveling gets caught with a charm. The Ignite's ticking down on him. He's taking a lot of damage. Kakao flies in there as Pokemon's already dead. Kakao so incredibly low, but Rookie picks up a kill. Going now is being caught, but it's going to be Kid falling down. Rookie with yet another kill, but the chains to come in. The Boomerang comes back, doesn't find him as Rookie runs through. Going picks up that kill. 3 for 2 now in favor of OMG, but these fights are so close.
The mobility of Castle and LeBlanc came up trumps right there as LeBlanc stayed alive, had just enough mana to get a second rotation of spells out, and the amount of AoE damage coming out, that completed 3-item build, the Morellonomicon, the Death Cap, and the Void Staff. Although Rookie's doing a lot of damage, I mean, this LeBlanc is deleting people off the Rift.
Oh, it's terrifying to behold. Another 800 gold until Rookie has that Rabbidan's Death Cap power spike as well. And with, you know, the Morellonomicon and another needlessly large rod item, he's going to have so much ability power on this Ahri. We'll see whether he can do what he needs.
And it's definitely a smart pickup because, of course, more flat AP means more wave clear coming out from those Qs from Ahri right here. You look down the lineup of OMG, no real magic resist items completed barring the Spectre's Cowl on Jarvan right here. So no need to rush that Void stuff and just more flat AP to make up for the lack of wave clear with the Phantom Dancer over Static Shift pick. So I do like that from Rookie.
Yeah, IG still with a fair bit of vision around this Dragon Pit, forming a bit of a circle on the bottom side as Pokemon's going to be clearing out this mid lane, wanting to scale up to that gigantic tank, but he's being caught out here. Transcendent Blade's trying to heal up. Dark Binding's not going to land, but he has to walk back into Uzi, who finishes off that kill. No worries.
Yeah, the pick potential of Core against any member of IG. Doesn't matter how tanky they might look. They're getting deleted off the map. That's an inner turret down. I believe all outer structures done right here, and they're pushing onto this inhibitor.
Yeah, they are wasting no time here at OMG. So much damage to come in. Of course, the last Whisper being completed by Uzi here as well. Howling Gale not going to find him as Cool's going to come and try and destroy Kid. That Null Magic Mantle doing some work, trying to stop him from dying instantly, but this inhibitor turret is getting decimated, and OMG with such decisive play this game.
And there's still a lot of power on the members of IG, but they've been so well out-rotated by OMG. They set the standard very early, denying Pokemon. Although Pokemon's farmed up, at one point it's having a 40 CS advantage. Now that Gogoing's got a couple of items, he can dive into the backline and activate that stasis with the Zhonya's. They're very competitive in fights, and they're so far ahead in objectives. They're playing on the front foot. That's the difference between these two series right here. It was IG on the front foot and taking the stranglehold in Game 1, and OMG have never taken the pedal off the accelerator Game 2.
Certainly have it continuing just to destroy turrets left, right, and center. Charm not going to find Cool as he distorts back to his original position, and it's going to be the Dragon taken here for OMG. Their third of the game, looking for that extra movement speed, and that's only going to help as IG actually looking to potentially answer with a Baron.
This is very decisive play, but they kind of feel the pressure of what's happening here. They know that Jarvan's committed, but no, they have to back away right here. There's no way they were going to be able to take that one when the Scrying Orb came in.
Yeah, Scrying Orb came in, but it was OMG backing off that Dragon. Not that IG were aware of it. So they're going to assume that that one's down and head back to base, and Lovelink's going to finish this one off for himself. Who's he going to kill a Raptor or two?
I mean, they likely would have kept DPSing down the Baron right there and going for a smite battle just because they feel this game is certainly in a bit of a hole for them right here. But when the Scrying Orb gives the enemy team a pretty precise knowledge of the amount of health Baron's at, you just have less strategic options. You can't back off it so early and go for a pick because you know the enemy can calculate the damage coming onto Baron more accurately right there. So it's smart to back away there as IG, but it leads to a free Dragon for OMG.
Yep, picking up their third of the game, of course. IG managing to pick up one earlier on, so do have that extra 6% statistics. Things going to be okay moving forward, but they are 6,000 gold behind. And Kid yet to go back in a little while. Probably wants to pick up a Last Whisper at some point, but he's looking to pick up a Hex Drinker at some stage. What do you think about that item on Vayne?
I mean, the Hex Drinker makes a lot of sense because Vayne does all her damage in 550 range or less. She's cancelling autos, getting closer and closer to enemies with that tumble, that you're going to end up eating some of this AoE magic damage. It's not a DFG Ahri looking to burst one person. It's a lot of AP doing a lot of damage in an AoE. So given that she's definitely going to be the target right here, she's going to be in trouble.
Yeah, Cool might actually be caught out here. The Sonic Wave's going to land low, going to get kicked back into the team, but Loveling's here. Soul Shackles onto 5 members. Doesn't quite get the stun as the Monsoon comes in here as well. Uzi, he's going to get caught out by Pokemon, but he's going to flash over the wall, going over there as well. Kid, he's free hitting in the backside, but he may have to get out of here. It's the Cataclysm onto Cacao, and the members of IG are just falling over here. As Cool's going to come through, actually gets destroyed by Kid. The 2 carries are actually dead now. Gogoing, the only one with damage yet alive. and not going to be able to continue the push. 3 for 2.
Yeah, that last death will finally relieve some pressure for IG, but you see the flavor of what happens if OMG get the initiation they want. The flag and drag over the wall was picture perfect from Loveling, and that led to the first pick. And all this damage coming out, the 11, 4, and 7 LeBlanc right here, the AoE damage coming in is just crazy.
It's just ridiculous. Kid wanting to go back, purchase some items here as well. You can imagine he's sitting on a little bit of gold, wanting to become that big Vayne for the late game. He might actually want to finish off that QSS. Does have a Brutalizer now and the QSS completed as well, so not going to be locked down quite as easily. No chain's going to be a problem. Soul Shackle's also not going to be an issue for him as well. And that extra magic resist definitely going to be helpful. So he's scaling up.
The risk for OMG here is that a lot of this gold lead is those outer turrets. 4 outer turrets coming down will be a significant amount of gold in IG's pocket, and that is the majority of the lead they've created right here. So if they make a poor pick, or if indeed the charm comes onto LeBlanc and she's instantly burst down, there's a lot of global gold to be easily picked up by IG, whereas OMG, they've got all the easy objectives down. It's only really Baron and the inhibitors they can use to grow their lead right here. So that's why we see 2 pink wards already down around Baron, and IG's job right here is to get as much vision as possible in their side of the jungle.
Yeah, and the key pickup here as well is that Aegis of the Legion now completed by Cacao. A lot of that AoE magic damage going to be negated by some extra magic resist onto every member. That Locket of the Iron Slurry being looked for here is going, not going to quite find it. That was a lovely Dark Binding attempt by Low, but doesn't quite find the mark onto Cacao. Those Moby Boots doing a bit of work.
And Gogoing's already opted into the Needless Large Rods. It's going to be a quite slower Void Staff coming out from him right here. So the 25 magic resist will be very helpful for IG. Yeah,
Loveling actually looking for the engage here. Charm not going to find them. Boomerang also searching for a target. As Cacao looking to try and clear out this vision. Safeguard away from the Dark Binding, and it's all a battle to see what's going on here as Kid doesn't want to move up too far.
I really want to see Pokemon group with his team right here because their #1 objective is to get ward coverage, and it's so much harder in a 4v4. He needs to teleport early, or if the first pick comes in for OMG, this game is over.
Yeah, it's actually Uzi popping his ultimate here as well, as Rookie's going to pop his. Spirit Rush already on cooldown, has been utilized for the first dash. And OMG still looking for the pick. Pokemon, though, he's split pushing on this bottom side. OMG may have to answer for this one, as Gogoing does not have his teleport available. Extra pressure now being put on this bottom side of the map. Huge wave on the top side as OMG. They want to come through. That's a lovely Howling Gale to come in. Cacao has been trapped. OMG's cool, just going to destroy him. And a DFG picked up of his own will secure that kill easily.
I consider it a significant strategic mistake to still be split pushing this long when their major objective is to get wards as close to this Baron as possible. With 4 members there and so much assassination potential coming out from a LeBlanc, it's so hard to stop it.
Yeah, Pokemon engages, but he just gets obliterated. OMG now with so much power. Cool again with another deletion kill. Gogoing gonna pop that one after getting the slow into Kid, and he is on the run now. Is the charm going to go wide here as well? And OMG, this is just night and day with the previous game.
And while it's fun to have that side wave pushing, while you're putting on a bit of turret pressure, if they have a fed assassin, you know that eventually you're going to have to face check a bush in order to get a ward on this Baron right here. So not having Pokemon there, not being able to even threaten a 5v5, as we see Cacao look for the steal, and LeBlanc just pads her stats again. It's a big problem. You need to teleport in earlier. Try and get the Vision Stranglehold in an even 5v5, because this is the result if you don't. OMG, they finally got that first pick, and it was all downhill from there for IG.
Yeah, Gogoing actually going to Riftwalk on top of Kid here. Takes away half of his health as Uzi's just wanting to crit Kid in the head. And Pokemon, he's just not the tanky Aurelia he wants to be. Uzi's diving this turret as well. A couple of crits. Pokemon's going to get taken down by the Boomerang. And the base has been breached by the Baron minions and OMG. And OMG are furious at that first loss, really fighting back.
Absolutely, they're playing very decisively right here. And just trading on the small positional mistakes being made by IG. It was Pokemon who was their hero in the first game right here, but they needed more clear play calling to be able to get any wards around Baron right there, and now they're suffering.
We'll see whether OMG can close this one out quickly or whether it's going to be the stall out, whether IG are going to have an opportunity to get back in. Of course, once that Frozen Heart gets completed by Pokemon, he's going to have a lot more tankiness. Does have a Banshee's Veil now, but he's going to need so much more magic resistance. Cool. Here's the battle of the assassins, forced to use that flash. There's a flash into the charm, doesn't find its mark here, as Rookie just gets destroyed.
The return deletion from Cool right there lets you know just how much damage we're talking about right here. Massive burst right there onto Rookie. He must have thought, all right, I got him so low, I'm going to get in there with the flash, but my goodness, the amount of damage in 1 second was unbelievable.
Yeah, just bloodthirsty was Rookie, wanting to get something back. He's 10-5-5, definitely having a decent game. 5 items now picked up. The Void Staff completed here for Rookie as well, so he has some assassination potential of his own, but cool, that was just a beautiful outplay.
And that 4th dragon puts a timer on this game. We always say it, there's 6 minutes until the 5th dragon is up, but I'd be surprised if this game goes another 6 minutes right here, because Cool is just deleting people left, right, and center. That ultimate is on such a low cooldown with the 40% CDR and all the AP he has available here. The moment a chains hits, someone is dead.
Oh, most definitely, and he's zoning everyone away. Kid actually gets caught here. Oh my gosh, comes in max range on that QR combo with the DFG, and Kid is dead. Pokemon follows as well because there's just no tanking this incredible damage. Rookie, beautiful Howling Gale from Kiddies. A valiant effort there as Cool's just diving turrets. The Ignite not going to be enough. And that is actually going to be the shield coming through from the Locket of the Iron Solari from Kakao to help him out. Uzi spell shielding everything up, and OMG just decimating this game. And they have definitely said, look, you will never do that to us again.
OMG ripped through IG that game. They completely corrected all of their early game mistakes in the previous series. They didn't sit down passively. They went very proactively. They denied Aurelia off a minion wave. And although Aurelia got crept back in the game was being played around Aurelia, almost like it would be played around a Nasus. It's nice that she got her Trinity Force, but by that point, so many neutral objectives and structures had gone down that just the combined power of that OMG team steamrolled IG.
Yeah, not to mention the fact that they just had so much of that standing gold in all of the towers that OMG were pushing down from minute 1 in this game. 5-minute first dragon after taking the outer turret in the bottom lane, zoning IG off that one completely. There was no laning phase, and if OMG are allowed to just team fight you over and over again, things are looking great. But we are going to be going into our next series very soon, ladies and gentlemen. Starhorn Royal Club take